Hello and welcome to another episode of Tarot by the Moon. Tasha, you're at Tarot by the Moon. Hello, welcome everybody. Coming in with another Starseed reading, following up from the other day's reading. If you haven't watched that video, do go back and look at it. It's very, very intense. There's a lot of emotional stuff coming up for healing. And what we're trying to process before the Pisces full moon, if possible, or as much of it as possible, which is on Saturday, I believe, which is a really emotional moon. It's the mooniest moon in a way, along with a Cancer moon, I suppose. But it really is. It's the end of the zodiacal year, and it's intensely emotional. So a lot of stuff's coming up, still coming up to be looked at. So here's the Starseed reading. Now, today we've gone into Aquarius. Moon's in Aquarius. So this is asking us to look, along with the Virgo energy of sifting and sorting, continuing on, okay? What is our vision? What alignment are we trying to bring in, okay? Aquarius, this is innovation. This is how can we process, completely innovative new ways of dealing with the emotional process, of dealing with heartbreak, letting go, and all of those things. If you haven't watched, I do recommend you go back and look at the last two videos at least. So thank you anyway, before I get carried away once again, thank you for all of the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and what have you. I'm really, really grateful to each and every one of you for that. The channel is growing. Slowly but surely it is growing, so please continue with that, because that's pretty cool. But yeah, well, I just want to get into the blood and guts of it, because there has been a lot of emotional processing going on in this particular collective over the last couple of weeks. By Jiminy, this week I felt like I had reached a crisis point just the other day when I did that last video. Now today we're going to do the Starseed reading, which is a little bit different. We're using Rebecca Campbell's Starseed Oracle, okay? And we're going to do the spread. That's 3 cards. One represents our expected life, all right? The sort of 3D life that everybody's going, oh yeah, that's what you're all about. The other one is your soul life. It's your hero's journey, okay? It's your double mission, okay? And the third one represents the bridge, how we're bringing them together. It's a spread that comes out of the book, and it's something I want to explore with you guys. I'm going to clarify it with some tarot, and I'm going to add a moon ritual oracle as well, which I left out with the last reading, because if you've watched it, you know the energy was so emotional, intense, hectic. There was a lot of messages being pulled through for somebody there, and anyway, maybe it's just the right thing that I involve it in this one, or not that one anyway, because you know me, I'm always trying to refine things and change things, and this is very organic the way I do things here at Tarot by the Moon, and I'm grateful for all of your feedback of how I can refine things and make things better for you guys as well, okay? So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all still enjoying the channel, and don't forget to give me that thumbs up, as I say. So let's go in with the reading. Before I go into any of my readings, I always call in the highest vibration of love, and only love, into the readings. Just look at that, is a very high vibration love stone actually. Into the readings for ourselves, for the planet we live on, for all of the species that we cohabit with here, all of the animals and plants that are our teachers and guides, as well as our companions, all of the other humans we share this planet with. Nothing but radical compassion and love for them all, yes, them all. All of the guides, star ancestors, spirit guides, interdimensional beings that come through and oversee these readings and stay with us through all of our decisions. Nothing but radical compassion and love, and so it is. Thank you, Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray's just come in to add his little bit of love there. To see him. I've got 2 dogs, in case you've never watched before. One's called Mr. Milo, and he's just sat at the window there. One's called Mr. Murray, and he's a collie dog that just showed his face there for a minute. They're both quite tired today because we had a bit of a day out yesterday down Parry. which is near the seaside, which is about 30 miles away from where I live, in case you're not familiar with the geography of South Wales, where I am. So we had a nice bit of fresh air, seaside air. It was a nice breezy day. Just as we were leaving, a storm kicked in. So it was really lovely, and it really felt like we were blowing away those cobwebs of that emotional, heavy lifting that I seem to have been doing. A lot of us have been doing, that I've been feeling for the collective for sure, over the last few days or so, last few weeks. I found this beautiful feather yesterday. Not sure what it is, some kind of seabird, no doubt. But it sang out to me on the beach, and it was out of the ordinary, and I thought, yeah, imagine that's in my little collection. I'm special. I've got lots of feathers, but these are, as you know, if you've been following the channel as well, you know, really nice feathers seem to find me. So I take it as a great privilege. I've got an owl feather there that I found. I've got a hawk feather there that I found, and I'm not sure what that one is, but I wanted them there with me today. So, without further ado, let's have a look at what's going on in our Starseed Oracle this week. Now, I only ever take the flippers and the fallers from my shuffles as well, my love, okay? Just so you know what I'm doing. Let's see. If I go quiet as well, I'm not one of these readers, well, not one of these YouTube readers who believes that I've got to chat away all the time. Sometimes I do talk very fast and a lot, depending on the energy, because there's a lot of information coming through. Sometimes also, at the same time, I can go very, very quiet and very, very still. And that's also because I'm processing information. It depends. Depends what planets what energies are helping me to process the information, to be honest with you. Sometimes there's a need to be quiet and still and focus, as I'm being guided to, or slow down as I'm being guided to. And sometimes I can't get it all out quick enough. If Mercury's very active, for instance, or something like that, and I've got a lot of Mercury in my chart as well. I have actually got Gemini ruling Mercury, so my communication and thought processes can be very, very, very quick, which is a handy tool to have as a reader. But it can leave you all wondering which Tasha you've got today, okay? So just to let you know, that's just how I work with my energy. I'm not one of these people who believes I have to chat all the time just so as you don't get bored and skip on, because I'm sure you're all very discerning and can understand that if I've gone quiet, it's because Spirit's asked me to go quiet. It's because Spirit's asked me to slow down, okay? It's for your own benefit. So, 3 cards we're looking for. We've got 4, so we'll take that one as an extra one for consideration later on. It often happens an extra one comes out. That's absolutely fine. So the first one out represents the life that people expect us to have, or that we even expect us to have, as society has expected us to keep going with. The second card out is our actual hero's journey, our soul mission. And the third card out is the bridge, how we're integrating that together, okay? So let's have a little look. Weight of the world. Boundaries. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. This is very much carrying on the theme of the last tarot reading that I did the other day. And you'll know what I'm saying if you've watched that straight away without us even looking at the book. And it does feel very much like this is very much the way you'd expect it to carry on. This is very much what's expected of you from the day in, day out on the 3D. Weight of the world, carrying everything, trying to sort out everybody's problems, trying to be something to everyone. Let's have a little look. I haven't really had this particular it's flipping up today. Haven't had this particular oracle deck for very long. I'd had a Starseed soul origin reading from a lady that I know who had offered it to me out of the kindness of her heart, and who's an expert at those things and had charged me no money whatsoever. I just wanted to do it for me after watching the channel. And then after that I decided to get this, and it's just something I really want to explore with you lot. So, because I feel like a lot of us are waking up to this fact that we are from a galactic family, that there is so much more going on than we've been led to believe. Weight of the world. Here we go. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty. So this is what's expected of us. This is what's dragging us back a bit, okay? You're no good at all if you're running on empty and bogged down in the weight of the world. Exactly. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, and to put your own oxygen mask on first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. Talked about that last week, okay, with the news and stories and all of that. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. I think it was Einstein that said you can't solve a problem in the same energy that created it. Exactly. So, hey, panic. Oh, the price of fuel. Oh, we've got a new person so-called in charge running the country that people supposedly voted in or whatever. It's just adding to the yeah, you cannot solve a problem. Right, now I'm no genius, goodness knows, but I think we'd all be in agreement that Einstein was genius and still is a genius, still helping us. You cannot solve a problem in the same energy that created it. Exactly. It's a short sentence, but there's so much in there. You've got to shift your perspective. You've got to shift your energy. We've got to come to a place of calm, peace, if that's what we want to bring in. Okay, love that. What else does it say here? This card is thanking you for caring so much. Okay, what's expected of us? What everybody expects us to carry on doing, because by now they've twigged that we're like, caring soul and whatever. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing it is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so as you're not constantly taken out energetically. Absolutely. Especially over the last couple of years. I mean, a lot of us have got stronger and learned to know how to ground our empathic side and things like that over the last couple of years. But so many people are still waking up, and they're going to need that example of how you sort of be in the world, but not of the world. How you can sort of keep up what's going on in the news without getting too bogged down with it, and things like that. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. What are you carrying that's not even yours? We've talked about this before, and I've shared with you a secret that I've learned about how to distinguish when you're picking up energetically feelings that are not yours. I've also suggested to you guys over the last couple of readings, in fact, start having a look at cord cutting, energy clearing, and chakra balancing exercises. And I've made it a practice myself because it is all too easy. It's just the way us modern monkeys work. You wake up, you look at your phone. You wake up, you look at your phone. And it's a habit that I've consciously got myself out of over the last year or two. And it makes such a difference. Instead of looking at your phone, you know what the time is. Most of us wake up on a body clock anyway and wake up around about the same time every day. You don't need to look at your phone. If you need to look at it just to check the time, fine. Put it back down. Invest in a clock so you're not looking at your phone. Move your phone away from your bed. And when you wake up, instead of going, what's going on in the news or in the social media world or wherever, just do whatever works for you. But what I do, I wake up before I've even got out of bed. I do some mantras. I do some deep breathing. Okay, I call in my guides. I look out the window, I greet the day, I look at the sky, I look at the sun, if we can see the sun or the clouds or whatever's there, whatever's going on. I take a moment to appreciate that. And then, lucky me, I've got dogs, so they are just chomping at the bit to get me out. So I go for a walk in nature. I'm blessed to live in a beautiful place. I take them for a walk around. I come back. Very often I'll have some breakfast or do a household task or something like that before I've even looked at my phone. That way, and while I'm walking around the park as well, I meditate. While I'm walking around the park, there's certain formulas that I always follow, and breathing exercises, and it brings you to a state of grace. And then I look at my phone, and then I engage with people, or maybe not. Maybe I just look and see what's going on, and see that see how everybody's doing, and then decide what I'm going to engage in or not, I suppose. But I'm not saying that's what what I'm saying is develop your own natural, and it came to me quite naturally. It was like, the first thing you need to realise is that you need to stop looking at your phone or the news or the radio or the TV first thing in the morning. All the other ways that you go about coming to that state of grace will come to you naturally. You won't need to overthink it. Just take the intention and the steps to actually, I'm not going to look at my phone this morning. I'm just going to take some deep breaths, think some positive affirmations. Do it whatever way round suits you. Get out of bed, do some exercise. Get out of bed and eat your breakfast. Instead of just resist looking at your phone. Resist putting the news on. Go outside and just breathe some fresh air, and do it whatever way round suits you. That won't matter. That'll come naturally. That'll all come easily. The first thing you need to do is set the intention not to engage in the drama as soon as you open your eyes, because that sets your energy up for the day. And you can't help people and be a good empath and be a good healer when the first half of your day was just, or the first even 20 minutes of your day, and it's like, this is science, psychologists will back that up, was full of, maybe pressure from work, family, friends, social media, the news. You're a very sensitive person. You wouldn't be here having this reading if you wasn't. If you didn't have, if you wouldn't be watching this reading if you didn't have time, at least for the theory of starseeds. If you're watching it, you probably are starseed. You're probably just learning about it right now. So take extra care of yourself, okay? Moving on. What's our actual journey? What's our actual soul mission? What's our hero's journey? Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction. Let God in. Okay, love that. Let's have a little look at that. Letting God in. I feel like that's a little bit like the last one we done. Go back and have a look if you haven't seen it. Where it was about being cracked open. That have stayed with me all week. The cracking open. The cracking open's been powerful this week for sure. Loosen your grip. But I'm so glad I allowed myself to go through it as well, and allowed even the strong emotions to come up, Loosening your grip. We're cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you cling into anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. Didn't we talk about that in the last tarot reading? About letting things die a natural death, and about severing things away that are not good for us anymore. These could be food, substances, relationships, jobs, or even people pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable spaces, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. Crack it open, let the light in. Okay, if it's a negative relationship, you probably need to learn to love yourself more, etc., etc. We went over this in the last ones, yeah? But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us or clinging to it for fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay, but you can be sure that it that what is for you will find you, and you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrender into the grace of life. Exactly. So this is part of our mission. So this is part of our hero's journey, is to actually be brave and courageous enough as the hero of that journey to actually let go of the control, to let go of outcomes, to let go of bad habits, to let go of toxic relationships. And it does take a lot of courage. We talked about this in the last one. Excuse me, my legs are garlands. My peppermint tea. To actually let go of those things does take a lot of courage. And you might think, well, what, you might have to change your whole life. We talked about this in the last one. It's really scary not knowing, because those toxic things you've been holding to, at least it feels like there's some security in there. But you don't know, like that full energy, the full card that we talked about, you don't know, he doesn't know, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Isn't it exciting not to know? Isn't it brave? Isn't it adventurous? That is part of the adventure. That is part of the adventure. It's a massive part of it. Okay? Every hero is courageous and brave, and we have to be the hero of our own story. And to do that, we have to let go. The bridge was integrating that with that. What the two aspects that we've talked about there, the weight of the world and loosening our grip, is karmic relationships. What a shock. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth and conflict. Okay, this has been a strong energy lately, I have to say. It's been dipping in and out of my radar for a while. I feel like my voice today is sort of gone a blah blah blah, slowed down, like sometimes like it's not really my voice. There's a whole show I could do about that probably. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you're enjoying this. Just stick with me, just give me a little bit of patience, because this is a whole new reading that I'm doing. It's not the tarot reading, but it fits together with it, or I hope it does. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now. Maybe you're one of them. Get in touch. Let me know what your feelings are about these things. And you're playing out your karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and heightens separation. Okay. Right, karmic relationships often have separation issues involved. Very, very, very often. You just have a little look on the internet at soulmates and twin flame experts, and they'll tell you this. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Exactly. It's the lessons within it. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our hearts. Crack it open, loosen your grip. Alright, let go of the control of trying to bring something together that's not together in the 3D, but that can never be apart in the 5D, if that makes sense. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode, instead of gathering the courage to open our hearts, use the bridge. This is how it all makes sense. We should admit... Mr. Milo! Oi! Oi! Sorry. Oi! Oi! Sorry about that, gang. My neighbour's having some work done on her house, and there's no point me worrying about it or even waiting for it to stop, because it's just continuous, so I just got to jump on you and hope for the best. So sorry about that. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart, and yet that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through the relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defences enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? There's more that unites us than divides us, and I don't care what your starseed origin is, where you are in life, where you are on the planet, there's more that unites us than divides us, that's for sure. So it's asking, which relationships do you find the most challenging? We talked about this last week, and a lot of people are choosing to let them go and cut them away now. And that's okay as well, because you're still getting the challenge out of it, you're still getting the lessons out of it, both sides. It's still raising the vibration. How can you see things from a different perspective? We did cover this a little bit when we talked about forgiveness. Okay. Very, very difficult to let go and forgive. But that's what this is asking you to do. It's asking you to step back and soften. How you're being called to allow growth through the conflict. Alright, so this is that old paradigm, old 3D thing of us and them, and he said, she said, yeah, but if he did and I did, and it doesn't matter. We're all human, we've all made mistakes. If you check my last video, I talk about this quite extensively. Actually, it comes up in a different sort of angle. Okay, that's what we're learning about karmic relationships. That's what we're going through, and perhaps that separation, perhaps in the 3D, perhaps on the ground, perhaps you are meant to be separate from that person in this life. Perhaps you are meant to be distant from them. To learn, okay? To learn the lessons that come up for healing, to learn through there. But not just that, to actually learn that separation is a lie, because that's what they learned on Orion. That's what those Orion starseeds have already learned. Is that there is no separation, and that to actually believe in separation causes the separation and then creates the conflict. Okay, I know this is pretty deep, but I mean, it's a starseed reading. It's not meant to be a lightweight, a tarot, or even a tarot reading. It's a starseed reading. So let's look at that one in a minute. Okay, right. Let's take our time. We're going to go through this. So I'm going to just do a tarot card to clarify each of those energies for us. Okay. Sun's stepping out a little bit here, which is nice. It's been quite cloudy, damp old morning. Conflict. There you go. Okay. So, if you're enjoying this, like I say, give me a like. I'll take that one. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Queen of Cups has come up in the tarot to support us in our expected life. Okay. Now, Queen of Cups is water sign generally. You don't have to be a water sign to follow this reading in any sense, but it does represent Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, and I mean we can all display that energy, whatever sign you're born under. It's very intuitive. It's almost like a high priestess sort of vibe. It's very intuitive, very nurturing, very empathic. It's the energy of the empath. It's the energy of a healer. And all of those things. So no surprise that it came up to support Weight of the World. And I mean, she's submerged in water there, in fact. Okay, Weight of the World, submerged in other people's emotions, submerged in drowning even, you know, just sort of holding her head up there, you know, and there's these cyclones in the distance. Okay, it feels like that. This light, I love light reflected on water. I've always had a thing about that, light reflected on water. It's an element of his own, I believe. Allowing that light to come through as well and carry us. It feels like she's saying, nurture yourself first, okay? You have to have a full cup, obviously. That's obviously there before you can offer it to others. She doesn't look bedraggled or tired or wrung out or any of those things. She looks absolutely radiant. Absolutely radiant in an ethereal and otherworldly kind of way, a Queen of Cups. And her cup is full and she's looking over her shoulder at you invitingly, as if to say, want some of my medicine? They got the poison, we got the remedy. That beautiful lotus flower there as well. Lotus grows up out of mud and salt. Okay, and it's a symbol of purity, of absolute purity. Okay, well, you can't be absolute purity if you're tired, overwrought, absorbing too much negative energies from people's fears of news stories and things like that. You can't. Okay, that's what they're expecting of us. That's what the old paradigm and then that the less. I don't want to say the less aware people, because then I'm adding to, because that's not unity consciousness. I'm adding to the separation. But let's just say, that's what's expected of us, is that we're going to become just so overwhelmed. We're going to start drowning. We're going to start feeling like we can't cope with it. It's all going to go toxic. That's what's expected. It's not what's going to happen, my loves. What's going to happen is strength keeps coming up. It's another energy that keeps coming up for us. This card does represent Leo and the tarot cards. Not that you need to be a Leo to enjoy this reading or have any part in this reading. However, we can all display that Leo energy. This is about taming the beast within. This is about your dual nature. There's a beautiful divine feminine figure who's completely in touch with the universe, displayed by that infinity symbol above her head. And then there's a lion. I mean, but both of them are part of her. Both of them are, or him. Both of them are part of your nature. And it's about allowing your divine feminine side to actually tame that beast. And that's true strength. It's about inner strength. And it takes a lot of strength. And when you see a lion as well, you think of the word courage. Most of us think of the word courage. It's associated with a lion. And didn't the word courage come up over and over again in this one, of what our true soul mission is, of how brave we need to be on our warrior's journey, on our hero's journey, to crack open, to let go of control. It takes courage to not be the roaring, I'm the beast, I'm going to make sure everything goes this way and that way. I'm going to rise up against all these injustices I see in the world. I'm going to meet them with anger and ferocity like a lion. No, because that would be going back to trying to solve a problem with the energy that created it, wouldn't it? That would be going back to that, if you see what I mean, yeah? That's the message here today. We're not doing that anymore. That's not how we're doing it. We're doing it by this, okay? We're doing it by this, by true inner strength. That's how we're shining a light forward. True inner strength. That's what we're going, okay, I see what's going on. I see there's not ideal situations. But instead of responding to it with our claws out and our teeth out, now we're learning to go, okay, that's happening, and I haven't got all the answers to how we're going to solve all these problems in the world, but I know it's not going to be by meeting it in the same energy that created it, and that's a good enough start. The universe will support us in the rest, and the universe will support us in the rest. So concentrate on taming your inner reactionary, knee-jerk reactions to dramas, other people's feelings, because you'll absorb a lot of people around us are not aware as we are, yeah, and a lot of people not as aware as Starseeds are, or people who are making inquiries about these kinds of things are, is what I want to say. And I hate to say that, because I feel like I'm creating a separation even by saying that. So bear with me and help me out here, okay? But as well, what I'm saying, a lot of people haven't learned that they don't need to live in that fear then, let's put it like that. So they'll be projecting their fears of what they're seeing going on around them onto you as well, and as an empath, as a starseed, or a healer, or a light worker, or a witch, or whatever you identify yourself as, it's all in the same bracket, we're all here to shine a light. You're going to really feel that a lot more, and it would be so easy to allow yourself to become completely intoxicated with that kind of energy, and then have the knee-jerk reaction of getting the claws out of meeting that energy in the same energy that it is. And this reading is asking us to bridge between those two. And guess what's come out? You couldn't write in, my darlings. And I've been saying this to you for weeks, and anyone who follows me knows this has been an ongoing theme for even months now, maybe. Karmic relationships. So a lot of people have come back and are having their karmic relationships and their twin flame relationships, and a lot of it is linked to Orion. Also, I was reading the book, wasn't I, about the Sirius connection. I showed you guys that a while ago. That's all connected with this as well. What's come up to back that up? Surprise, surprise, if you know your tarot at all. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a card of past lives, past life relationships. You couldn't write a... This is why I say to you, this is a real reading, okay? This is not a 10 a penny tarot reading. This I hope you appreciate this is a real deep reading. And I'm privileged to bring it to you. I'm privileged to channel what I can through to you. So this is to do with past life relations. This is backing it up. Okay, this is just spirit backing that energy up. And so this is how we're going to do it. So maybe a lot of this stuff that's coming up, that's triggering us, that's like making us feel toxic, this getting us down, is coming from our relationships. And I knew this in the last tarot reading that we did the other day. Okay, and a lot of those relationships have got to go for now at least. And like I explained to you, when you cut something away, you can't rejuvenate a toxic relationship. There's no such thing as rejuvenating a toxic relationship. You can only bring a toxic relationship back to life by cutting it off completely. And then if it grows back and it comes back towards you, you're all right, or you can at least try again. But if you stay in it, it's just holding on to toxicity. It's just going to create more distance. It's just going to create more polarity. And that's not what we want. We want the unity. We want the love. We want the love. We want the Six of Cups. We want that sweet, sweet feeling that comes with the Six of Cups. Okay, my darlings, I feel really emotional. Wow. Okay, what came up for consideration? Extra card. The Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. The Seas of Mintaka. I don't know a lot about that, but I know I did enjoy my time at the sea yesterday. And it was very, very cleansing, very, very refreshing. As I say, I am a water sign myself, so no surprise there. Seas of Mintaka. I haven't read this one before, my love, so bear with me. So it says, Mintaka is thought to have been a water-based planet. I don't know anything about this. This is new to me. This is what I mean about this channel. It's very organic. I'm learning with you. We're growing. We're going together, yeah? If you've got any, please get in touch with me and give me feedback. If you are a Starseed and you know about these things and you've had, I'd love to hear about it. Let's share. Anyway, Mintaka is thought to have been a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you could ever imagine. So clear that you could see for miles and miles underwater. I like this place already. Because you know what, it's a funny thing. This week I've been feeling my mermaid energy a lot. It's one of the reasons why I chose to go to the sea yesterday. Interesting. The Seas of Mintaka card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and all situations. This is where I'm coming from, my loves. And I say to you every week, and I've said to you at the beginning of every single reading that I've done on this channel, and I say it to people who have had personal readings off me also, as many of you will know, it's about seeing the potential in everyone. That's why I call in radical compassion for everyone, even the so-called haters and the so-called people who've done you wrong, or the people who seem dull or whatever. Everyone's got their story, everyone's got their reasons, and we need to bring in that radical compassion and be able to see the potential in everyone. It's about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and all situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that what you're currently doing has great potential. Interesting. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. I love that. I've got a ringing in my ear now, and it's a very positive ringing, and it's about love. Wow. Okay, and I've got a tear as well. Wow. You may have received this card as confirmation that a situation or project has extreme potential and will reach fruition. If it appears in a spread, it's a very positive sign that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved. Isn't that what we want in all of our endeavours? But especially when we're doing it from heart base or a soul base, where we're trying to bring our healing in. Okay, my loves, I know many of you are. It's a very uplifting, light-filled card and brings great harmony, contentment and positive outcomes. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means you may be called to bring light to any unconscious patterns of which you're unaware. To look at them and to see them clearly and consciously, as they don't appear in your life as fate. What unconscious patterns or behaviours are ready to be brought to the light of day? How can you see the potential in a situation that you're facing? What unconscious patterns are you bringing to the light? This is such an interesting energy. I'm going to be focusing on this. Wow, look, and it's got that light bouncing on the water that I talked about earlier on. I've always said to people, and people just have looked, every time I've said this to anyone in my entire life, to be honest with you, they've either gone, oh yeah, or they've just gone, nodded their head with that, or you're weird, sort of, you know what I mean. And literally, the way the light bounces on water, there's something special about it. It's an element of its own that we've yet to sort of understand or categorise. I'm convinced of this, honestly. And I can just see lots of that there again. I get a lot of energy from it. I can't explain it. I've tried to explain it to people. I've tried to share it with people, and it's not. Maybe this is something to do with this. I don't know. I feel like it is. This is wonderful energy. Absolutely wonderful. Bringing the unconscious to light. And if you don't bring the unconscious, Carl Jung, famous psychologist, or was he a psychiatrist? One of them was a psychiatrist, one of them was a psychologist. I've got Jung somewhere. I've got one of his books somewhere. Hang on, not up here. Downstairs I've got one. I think he was a psychiatrist, wasn't he? So what you don't look at in your unconscious plays out in fate in your life. Well, I suppose what he means by that is, what I'm getting from that is, you know how, and I've said this to you guys many, many times, if you don't look at a thing, if you keep pushing a thing away, pretending it's not happening or that it's not important or whatever, life just keeps throwing you circumstances and lessons until you finally look at that lesson and learn it. And if you don't do it in this life, then you're going to do it in the next life, and so on and so on and so on. I suppose it's something to do with that. I feel like it is anyway. I'm just being shown that. Wow, this energy's amazing. So seeing the potential in all situations and all people and all things. Exactly. So karmic relationships, past life relationships. This is the bridge to bringing our mundane life and our hero's journey together. Okay, our double mission. This is the bridge. Karmic relationships, past life relationships. That's coming as an extra ingredient to help us being able to see the potential and the good and the light in everything and everyone. So even people who are like perhaps got really dense, heavy energy. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to bring that, so this is helping to right. So that's the magic ingredient we need. It is to do that. It's like, so even people with that dense, heavy energy, or who have made you feel really hard in your heart, or really triggered you and brought up your anger maybe, or your ego, or whatever, and it's going on for all of us in various degrees. I don't care who you are. It's about enlightening that, isn't it? It's about allowing that to be cracked open, like we say, allowing it, being brave enough to, courageous enough to allow it, properly look at it, acknowledge it, instead of pushing it down, because it's just going to keep coming back up until we've solved it. And being able to see the light in that situation. Maybe you had to split up, like I said to you last week, maybe somebody split, because I'm feeling like there's a lot of that going on. Maybe people are walking away from each other. Maybe people are blocking each other and doors are being shut on each other and things like that. And ties are being, energetic cords are being severed, okay? This feels really painful. Feels like you've lost. Feels like it's really painful. But sometimes when you lose, you can win. Sometimes losing is winning. Maybe there's no losing and winning. Maybe this was part of the lesson that we learnt in these lifetimes gone by. There's no winning and losing. It's just unity. It's just unity. Because everything else is just creating conflict. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, my loves. I'm going to leave it there because that's going slow. And I can see we're on around about the right time that I like to call it a day on these readings on. So if you have enjoyed this reading, in any sense at all, please hit the like button, please subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notified. Please drop me a comment in the box below. If you'd like a personal reading, please follow the link below. Please don't give your money away to anyone over the internet. That won't be me. You'll have to approach me if you require a personal reading. I can do you a starseed reading. I can do you a tarot reading. We can talk about it, whatever. Alright then, let's do a moon ritual. Moon and the stars together, it kind of makes sense. Just to top off this starseed reading. Oh, it does make sense. I like that. The imminent arrival of the full moon fills me with gratitude, and it is imminent. It's Pisces full moon on Saturday, I believe. Okay, and now I did come into the beginning of this reading. I'm being made aware now that I came into the beginning of this reading with a little modicum of dread attached to that, which I apologise for. Which was, oh, we need to sort this clearing and sifting out by the full moon because it's a Pisces full moon and it's a really emotional moon. So I apologise for that, and I feel like that's the salve for it right there. The imminent arrival of the full moon fills me with gratitude. Exactly. So apply that ingredient of the seeds of Mintaka to it. Instead of looking at it as something to be feared or dreaded, oh my God, it's going to be so emotional, and it's already been really emotional all week. These last couple of readings, this whole Virgo season's felt very, and all of that. Instead of that, let's look at it with gratitude. Let's look at it with gratitude because it's helping us to move towards unity. It's helping us to raise the vibration of the planet, of Mother Earth, of anyone that's attached to us, which is probably everyone. Just not get over our heads, but if everything on the planet is what I think is, if everything on the planet Earth is in an ecosystem and all being affected by each other, and we can all accept that and understand that, then of course everything that's happening on planet Earth is affecting the whole solar system, and everything that's affecting the whole solar system is affecting the whole universe. Okay, so we can raise the vibration for everything by allowing light to be shone on all those dark places that we don't want to look at in ourselves, allowing it to be cracked open and healed. Okay, I hope this has made sense, and I hope it's been of some help. This full moon is imminent. Let's practice gratitude. So let's move ourselves out of there. Let's even shine that light on our own darkness, okay? Because it has been heavy over the last couple of weeks, and we've all been shifting a lot of energy and severing and cutting different things off, and it's felt like that. It's time to lighten that now. It was about enlightening ourselves, enlightening. I feel a lot lighter today, I have to be honest, than I have. I'm pretty sure since I went to Simple Action, I'm going to the seaside. So, yeah, shine that light on yourself first. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, weight of the world. Shine that light on yourself first. Shine that beautiful, magical, healing light on yourself first, on all the parts of yourself that are a little bit dark, a little bit heavy, a little bit holding on to resentments maybe and things like that, okay? Shine the light on that first. Then understand that these difficult karmic relationships are in, and that is your family, friends and everyone you meet. It is. That's where the healing is, that's where the growing is, that's where the understanding of unity is coming from. There's more that unites us than divides us every time. So let's be appreciative of this beautiful Pisces full moon coming in, and how much potential for healing is bringing with it. A deep soul searching. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be beautiful. Let's look at the light side of that. Season Mintaka, full moon in Pisces. Dream big. Allow yourself to float in that dreamy energy and not drown in it. Okay, my loves, float in it. Float in it and be enlightened. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it makes sense. I'm going to leave there. Please give me your feedback. Please give me your thoughts about it. Please give me your Starseed experiences or any other spiritual experiences that you're going through. If I have triggered anything today, please get in touch. Anything you tell me will be in 100% confidence, and I can always point you in the right direction to get healing via qualified counsellors on all sorts of subjects. So, yeah, love you all so much. I'll be back in for the full moon reading. So push through this part of the moon, as I always say to you guys as well on the Tarot by the Moon. This is the week where you need to push through. It would be easy to just go, oh, that's it, I've had enough of all that now. No, now is the time you need to push yourself through, okay, and take these actions and take this advice. All right, my loves, we can do this. We've got this, and then we celebrate, and then we've got Pisces full moon time. Think of it as a celebration. Look back on the zodiacal year, everything you've achieved and all the lessons you've learned, all the growth you've achieved, and all the seeds you've sown in others. Amazing work. I'm proud of each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. So I look forward to doing the next one. Lots of love, lots of light.